Hey guys, what's up? Special guest from Mr. Pita here. Yeah, I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a hot minute and it's been a while and I really do miss you guys. I miss filming, and I always feel like whenever I start to get into the groove of filming, life just picks up and gets really busy. But in any case, I'm here. My plants are still kicking it, sort of. I feel like the months of, I don't know, like just the winter months. I feel like the winter months, you guys are going to receive a lot more plant updates from me and how I'm going to propagate and multiply my plants, just because the winter months are the months where I tend to actually go around my collection to see what I'm gonna keep, what I'm not gonna keep, what has been thriving, what hasn't been thriving. So in this particular video, I'm actually gonna be talking about my Florida Beauty. Now, I think in my previous videos, I did show you guys how my Florida Beauty did look, and it was kind of sad and pathetic. It's still looking kind of sad and pathetic, but we're gonna go ahead and try to bring it back to life and get it to a stage or point in its life where it's, I don't know, like presentable, where it actually should look like the way it should look. Because when I received these Florida Beauties, they had very good variegation, they had good genes, so obviously I have just neglected it quite a bit. So let me go ahead and bring you guys in a little bit closer, and I guess I'll have to take down the Florida Beauties at some point to show you guys, because I don't think it's gonna do you guys any justice when I just kind of like point the camera, but I'm gonna try my best. So let's get started. All right, so the first Florida Beauty resides right here, and as you can see, it did put off this beautiful variegated leaf that looks kind of sad and pathetic right now. Like it's not, you know, as green as it should be, but you're gonna soon quickly see that it's just not been, you know, very happy. I think this Florida Beauty would give me a variegated leaf, and then it would give me a non-variegated leaf, and then it just started dropping all of its leaves. So I basically have a very long vine right now, and this is the newest leaf that it's put off. So I haven't had any variegation from this Florida Beauty at all, but I think I'm going to give her a massive chop. So this one Florida Beauty is the one that I will be trying to address today. Oh wow, it actually has quite a lot of green leaves. But yeah, I will take this off the stand and kind of do like a closer look for you guys in just one moment. There is another Florida Beauty that I want to address, so let's go ahead and go to the IKEA cabinet. All right, so this Florida Beauty is very sad. This Florida Beauty, as you can see, the variegation looks kind of okay, but then it would put off leaves that look like this, and I'm just like, I don't know what's wrong with you. Like, it doesn't, I don't think it has pests, only because I didn't see any, but yeah, I don't know what's going on with it. Maybe it's just not happy with where it is. But it does put off some nice variegation, and then it just kind of quickly, I don't know, does this. Like it starts to, I don't know what that is. It's just not looking happy. So what I'm gonna do is pull all of my Florida Beauties out and then just address them accordingly. So I'll be right back and start moving things around. Alright, so now that I have these Florida Beauties in front of me, I can really see just how badly I was neglecting these plants. But you know, it's okay. We're here now. It's still alive. It's just looking kind of pathetic. So this Florida Beauty, I had actually picked up from somebody out west within the plant community. And I recall being so specific with certain variegated plants. Like I needed to have the best, like it had to like have the most prettiest variegation for me, otherwise I wasn't gonna pick it up. And my logic back then was oh, like it's all about the genes and the variegation that it currently has. If it doesn't have good variegation, then it's gonna continue to put off like green leaves instead of variegated leaves. But now I know differently. Now I know that the plant is going to do whatever the plant is going to do regardless of how it currently looks, especially for Florida Beauties. I find that you can kind of tell what the new leaf is going to look like on Monstera albos, but not so much Florida Beauties. So here we are. But this one actually, I still think it has really good genes despite how sad it looks over here, because if you take a look at it, every leaf was pretty variegated. It just didn't, I feel like I should have transplanted it to soil because it was currently in ponds and I thought it would like that. But I also wanted to convert a lot of my plants over to semi-hydro, and now I know that some plants are into that and some plants are not. So I think that's the reason why it kind of stunted its growth. Now this leaf right here looks pretty sickly. I'm gonna go ahead and just clip that off, and I'm gonna make a cut right here. So let's take a look at this. Totally distracted now. I forgot where I was going with this. But I think what I was just trying to say was, when you are taking a cutting of a plant, you want to essentially just have one good leaf on the cutting, because otherwise you end up stunting the rooting process of the cutting. So that's the reason why I'm actually going to take this leaf off. Don't need that, and I'm just gonna basically stick this in some moss. So yeah, I have found that when there's more than one leaf on the cutting, it just takes such a long time for it to start rooting, and it's just like a whole thing. So yeah, so this is gonna be the top cut. We'll leave that there, and let's see, is there anything else that I want to try to keep from here? I mean, okay, so this is the state that it's currently in right now, and it did put off this leaf, and I had already started air layering it here. So what I think I'll do is actually just snip this off completely down here so that it looks like this, and probably snip it off here too. Alright, so I was very curious to see what it kind of looks like in here, and what it looks like is that I started air layering this at like a fork. So you can see there's two main branches that are coming off here, and it's pretty well rooted in my opinion. I just don't see any growth on this at all, and I think my intention for this was I wanted to air layer this one branch that's coming off this main one here and toss this, because I think at that time I figured it was dead. So before I start snapping things off, because I'm so impatient, I want to first make sure that the root system is actually coming from this branch right here and not this one. Because if this, like if the roots were coming from this branch, then I have to keep it the way it is and then just wait for it to sprout leaves for me. And just my luck, it's actually coming off of this main branch right here, the roots. So yeah, I'm gonna just go ahead and put this back the way I found it. And I think I am going to just, off camera, I'm not going to bore you with this stuff, I'm going to remove all of the moss and then just plant it up, to be honest with you. I'm gonna, yeah, just plant it up in its own container and give it 100% humidity. Yeah, this is gonna take some time, which again, I'm gonna just do this off camera so that you guys aren't watching me do this for like 20 minutes. We're not here for that. Everyone has ADHD. We're not doing that today. And this right here, I suppose I can just let it, you know, try to grow something out of this piece here. But to be honest with you, I don't see any active nodes on this at all. It's actually all burnt out. So yeah, I'm throwing this out. So from that cutting or that plant, I now have 2 cuttings. Now for this ginormous one here. So we'll start with the fresh parts. So this Florida Beauty, I actually got in from Thailand, and it was huge. It was beautiful, and I actually didn't think it was going to acclimate very well, but it did. So here it is. Looking very sad. So this is the newest leaf that it's put off, and here's a second leaf, and they're green. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of snip right here, and we're gonna hope, and then I'm gonna stick the moss right here where the aerial roots are, and then we're gonna just kind of hope and pray that it wants to produce something. And I know that this vine is going this way, but my plan is to actually kind of put it in a jar and bag it maybe, and stick it right underneath the grow light, so that way it just kind of starts growing straighter. So here's one cut. This is the top cutting, and then there's this one here. Let me see if there's, and it has a nice node. So let me cut this and then I'll show you. Here's the other node. Look at the little baby dot. Oh my god, I forgot how exciting and fun this is sometimes. So here it is. I'm probably gonna shorten this. Let's go ahead and just cut that off. Now the only concern that I have, that I don't think that this may root, is the fact that the aerial roots are very very dry. So it may not root for me. This is the, I think this is the only, I mean, I'm sure there's more, but right now this does not look very viable, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. You never know. The power of moss, you just never know. So here's another cut. This is a mid cut. I'm getting there. Oh no, I'm hearing things break. Okay, this is very sad and pathetic. I'm not even gonna try to attempt that. Then we have all of this. So right now, this is probably like 1 meter long, the vine. Yeah. This is sad. Yeah, so I'm actually gonna cut this off completely. Now, I do want to let you guys know that even though this is very hard and woody, I can, in theory, propagate from a wet stick. Like, something will grow. I've done it multiple times with my gloriosums, where I would just take like a small cutting from it and just stick it in moss and 100% humidity, and it will grow. I've done that for gloriosums, never done it for like a vining plant. I kind of want to challenge myself and do it, just because I see this really like intense looking node that looks like it just wants to give me life. There's 2 of them, so I might do it. Yeah, I think I might do it. So let me show you guys. Do you see this dot right here? That dot right there is a very active node, and then there's one down over here as well that's very active. So I think I'm gonna do it, guys. I think I'm gonna challenge myself and see if I can grow something from a wet stick, because I've never tried, but I mean, for the purpose of filming this and trying to preserve as much of this Florida Beauty, I'm gonna try it out. So I have two wet sticks now. 2 wet sticks with very active nodes. I'm just gonna bag this in moss and see what happens. And yeah, we're gonna pray to the plant gods and see if I can get something to grow out of this. We'll leave that there. This I'm just gonna throw away because no, not interested in it anymore. And now we have this is what's left of it. So The leaves look really sad and pathetic. Honestly, I think I'm just gonna clip it all the way back. Yeah. So here's one of the leaves. I do love this plant. This plant brought me so much joy when it put off beautiful leaves for me, beautiful variegated leaves. But I think it was just because it outgrew the place that it was in and it wasn't receiving enough light that it started to kind of do what it's doing. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this way back. Where's this? And I guess in theory, this right here is a very woody aerial root that will become it will be activated once you give it some humidity. The question is, do I want to go there? I don't know if I want to go there. Yeah, I don't know if I want to go there. Because I'm going to end up with so many propagated Florida Beauties. I don't know. I already have 3 Monstera albos that are sitting downstairs. And with the way that plants are right now, there's just no demand. So like that's the reason why I'm so hesitant to want to propagate this. Well, I'm gonna cut it here first and then just let it kind of callus over, and then I'll decide later. Maybe that's what I should do. Okay, and I'll throw that piece off. And then there's this. I don't know. Like, do I want to cut this back even more? I'm trying to see if there's, okay, here's a nice little node that's okay. Maybe I do want to cut it all the way back to here. All right, so I just scratched off. Can you see? Hope you can see. I hope I can see. Where is it? Right here. You can't see that because I can't even see that, but I just scratched off like the outside. The outside, obviously it's outside. I just scratched off like a woody piece of the stem, and I can see that the node is just like popping out. I'm gonna have to just take a picture and just insert it for you. So I think I'm gonna cut it right to here, so that way it's getting rid of this leaf here. And this aerial root is kind of crap, so I don't think that's a viable piece. And now we're left with just this. So all right, so now that I'm at the point where it's like no return, this is where I'm at. I now have 2 leaves from this this plant right here, and I don't know if you guys can see, there is a whole lot of algae in here. So that's probably one of the reasons why this plant isn't thriving. But the soil roots are semi-hydro, and I actually want to convert this situation into like a soil based environment for this plant, only because from past experience lately, as of late, I've noticed that any plants that are currently in soil are just doing so much better. Like, they're so much bigger, they're more robust, and they continue to grow and thrive despite what type of lighting I'm giving it. And I say that because some of my plants are like pretty much in a dark corner, but it's still growing, it's still doing its thing. Versus semi-hydro, I'm starting to find that it's kind of finicky. Like, the plants tend to be finicky. Maybe it is because there's like algae growing and it's like more maintenance. I feel like that's probably it. I feel like it's because the plants, like the root system, is not able to like obtain any of the nutrients because of its current situation. So anyways, where I was going with this was that I want to convert this to soil, but I don't want to keep all of this. I want to start from scratch, and I find that when my plants have already established such a large root system like this, converting it to soil is just, it's just not good. PTSD from my Thai constellation, but I do find that it requires a little bit more work and patience, in which we all know that I don't have. So I don't know how I want to go about this. I think perhaps the best course of action is to kind of leave it alone right now, maybe, and see if anything grows from this node right here. Because I don't see anything that's viable that, you know, that has like a really good aerial root where the root can kind of start to root itself. So I think what I'm actually going to do is put moss right on top of here, like right here, so that way it can have 100% humidity, and then hopefully in the next 2 weeks something kind of starts to pop, and then once that something starts to pop off, I can go ahead and continue to air layer it, and then take a cutting and be more on top of it. Not like this situation right here. This was sad. But yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera and start, you know, cleaning these fresh cuttings, and then start like mossing them up. Is that a word? Is that a term? Do we say that? I don't even know. I don't even know. But I'm gonna go ahead and go off camera and start tidying things up, and then start putting things together, and then I'll show you guys the final product. So I'll be right back. Ooh, I have good news and I'm so excited. Okay, so it's kind of a mess right now, but earlier I was saying that I think the root ball was coming from this right here, but it's not. It's actually coming from this piece right here. Look at that. Can you believe that? That's from one aerial root. You just need one good viable aerial root. Now, I think actually, I feel like I have good and bad news. So the good news is that, you know, this root system is from this main branch right here. So I can get rid of this. The bad news is, I don't know if this node is viable. I don't think it's viable, you guys. It's very woody. Can you see? I need to figure out a way to zoom in for you guys. So it's incredibly woody right here. I don't know if that's actually viable, but we're gonna try. We're gonna try anyways. So I'm gonna go ahead and snap that off. And actually, these are viable right here. So I'm gonna throw it in, actually I'm probably gonna wrap it up like this, and then I'm gonna shove it in soil. I'm gonna go ahead and shove it in soil and see if anything will grow from this, because this leaf doesn't look too bad. It looks very dull, but it's not like diseased or anything. So now I can go downstairs and start cleaning everything up and potting everything up now for you guys. This is exciting. All right, so these guys are all potted up, and initially I was going to put them in 100% moss, but then I realized, hey girl, you don't have enough moss, but I do have soil. So they are currently in like a tiramisu situation, in the sense that there's a layer of soil, moss, soil, and topped off with moss. And the reason for that is because I figured moss can be added to areas where we need a little bit of help. So what I mean by that is, if you recall, the aerial roots and the nodes for some of these guys were very, what do you call it? Woody, and it needed a little bit of help. So those areas I sprinkled some moss and then topped it off with some soil, and then moss. So the moss on top is great for the nodes that are sitting like right here. And like I said, in the past I've noticed that wherever I would put moss, it would activate that area. And I know that for gloriosums, the way that I would propagate them, I would just literally shove them in soil, give it 100% humidity, and call it a day. However, some of these cuttings will not fit the bag. So I figured putting some moss on top will actually kind of create, not create, but give it more humidity than it normally would in comparison to just soil. So that's the reason why it's in this tiramisu situation, and I am going to bag it. Now, one thing that I do want to mention is that when you bag your cuttings, it's actually very important to remember to give it good air circulation. And I think in the past I would always forget to, you know, open the bag every now and then to give it some airflow. So to prevent the forgetfulness and to give this plant the best chance it has to survive, I'm gonna close the bag as much as I can and leave a little bit of an opening here, so that way there is some sort of airflow that's going into here. And also because there is soil in this mixture, I don't want to run the risk of it rotting because of not enough airflow. So I don't want to, yeah, I don't want it to run the risk of root rotting. Well, not root rotting. In this case, it would be like stem rotting or node rotting, or rotting is just bad in general. Anyways, so this was also potted up in soil and what do you call it? Moss. And this guy, all I did was take the moss and shoved it right in the center here. I did leave a little bit of a lip here so that I can check in on it every now and then to see if the node becomes activated. If it does become activated and it starts kind of sprouting, I'm going to have to remove some of the moss away and then pray that it starts to root so I can give it a good cut, and then I'll have like a new fresh baby. What else? Oh, this is in here are the cuttings. So these are the wet sticks that are just kind of chilling in here. If I can show you guys without dropping everything. So they're just gonna stay exactly the way that they are. Probably put some moss just covering the node, just a little bit, just a smidgen, and then Ziploc bag, and I'm gonna seal it so that there's 100% humidity in here. And I'm gonna actually probably put it underneath this light right here and see how it just grows and thrives. Hopefully it decides to choose life. I haven't had any plants that decided to not grow whenever I would put this much effort into it, but you never know. You just never know. But yeah, so I will update you guys I guess in the next 2 weeks or so, but I feel like that's going to be like a very short video, so we'll see. I might just do like a quick update on my Instagram. If not, I will just kind of start filming and consolidating the videos. But yeah, thanks for joining me. Missed you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.